Hello, this is David Reagor from the Los Alamos County Council, and just won re-election, so I have another 4 years coming, and we've immediately jumped into a whole bunch of very big issues this November, and maybe kind of on purpose because people were delaying things till after the election that would be controversial. So maybe that is why it's all happening in November. But the biggest thing happening lately, I think, is the purchase of for about $9.8 million of the land across the street from the high school. That used to be the pharmacy and used to be the donut shop, and that used to be Metzger's Auto Places. So the county's trying to purchase that, and they're trying to purchase it at a very high price. So to explain how difficult that is, you got to go back and look at the whole history of the town and why it's so hard on small business. And we are a small town, we have small volumes of business, and it's not New York City where you have a deli that has 10,000 customers come through a day. No, it just isn't that crowd of people. So as a small town, we cannot afford to have exorbitant rents and things like that. When the lab came across the bridge, it was about 20 years ago, and started taking up properties, it became a big problem for the county because it warped the rental market, and that in turn warped what landlords were thinking and purchasing, and speculators buying properties. All of these things were a result of the lab stepping into the town, and then they finally agreed to not do that anymore. But still, we have a lot of exorbitant rents and so forth that make it very hard on small businesses, very hard on the restaurants, very hard on everybody in town. And the landlords, in turn, being very unreasonable about anything else because they see giant checks on the horizon. So they warped this market about 20 years ago and have seen a steady decline of small business. And now, in fact, the lab still has a lot of the school's property that should be opened up to other people, but now they have all of it. So we have to say, how do we want to improve this economy? The worst thing for us to do is for the county to turn into the big buyer and starting to force higher prices on everyone and force the market into some exorbitant level, whether they're renting and spending big or they're buying and spending big. In either case, it's a problem for our whole small business environment and our whole town, because the town is too small to absorb that, and we can't take that commercial property out of existence. And we've already seen that. I think something will happen with CB Fox, and something has already happened with the Real Deal Theater to turn into Sala, and those things add to our community, and we do not want to interfere with that. And so buying up commercial land just isn't acceptable. We have other places to put things. We have other places to think about putting things, and we own a lot of land, and the schools own a lot of land, and between the two, we don't want to create a place that's unworkable for anybody, except only the lab can afford to rent, and no small business can rent, and nobody can buy. And we've already created that situation, and this new $10 million deal for those 3 plots of land is a step backwards in every way. So I hope we'll vote it down, and I thought we could vote it down on Tuesday, but I was the only one to put it down. Everybody else wanted to wait until next week. So right after Thanksgiving, 2 weeks from now, we'll re-discuss this issue, and hopefully we'll vote it down. And I hope we have a lot of public outrage, because I think everybody can see how it warps the market and causes problems for everybody in town.